Does anyone ever experience a sort of ringing in the ears? Do you have those prolonged headaches that go on for weeks? I guess many of you have read comments like this, or even posted similar ones yourself. And do you ever wonder why there are so many of us with an anxiety disorder, and we all seem to have our own and very different set of symptoms? Well, there are different reasons for this, and the first one is pretty obvious. We of course all react different to stress, and everyone's body and mind will respond in a different way when the fight or flight mode kicks in. For some of us, the heart will pump super hard and fast, while others barely notice any difference. And then there are a few that hyperventilate and feel like that they will pass out, while others seem to have their breathing completely under control. But I would say that it's more likely the intensity of the symptoms that makes a difference here. Over the years reading and posting in forums, I've noticed that actually most anxiety sufferers have very similar symptoms, at least at the beginning of their disorder. Everyone's first panic attack sounds about the same, or at least has a lot of similarities. Most people worry about heart attacks, for example, strokes or brain aneurysms, and so on. These are mostly illnesses with an immediate catastrophic effect, and is obviously a direct result of the panic symptoms that they have experienced for the first time. But as time progresses, so do the worries of many of us too. We've been through hundreds of panic attacks by now, and our mind slowly accepts that what we are feeling is perhaps really not a heart attack. That our heart is still alive and ticking after hundreds of heart attacks doesn't make complete sense even for us. But living with anxiety for a prolonged period of time and being under tremendous amounts of stress will obviously have a negative effect on our well-being and our body. Most and foremost, it's our muscles that are now constantly tensed and don't let us rest at all. The whole body feels plain uncomfortable, and that muscle tension creates symptoms like headaches, tingling, numbness, blurry vision, and many more. These symptoms don't have to go hand in hand with a panic attack and can arise even when totally stress-free, plus they can even last hours or days on end. This is a stage where many of us suddenly develop fears of all sorts of cancers or diseases like MS. Being in this hypertensed and sensitive stage creates plenty of symptoms, which are probably very similar from individual to individual. But it's what each of us tends to focus on that makes the difference here. You've got to understand that us with health anxiety get better and better at body checking. We are so in tune with our body that we note every little twitch or ache. And once you feel that there is something off, you freak out and also tend to focus on that area more. And not only that, we tend to associate these sensations with other illnesses, or even start self-diagnosing ourselves with the help of Dr. Google. Let's say you've noticed that your back feels a little numb at a certain area, and you found an article stating that something like this could stem from MS. And out of fear, you research more and more and find all sorts of symptoms linked to this disease. And guess what happens then? You start focusing on specific body parts in order to be sure that you don't have also those. And ironically, you will always find something that resembles a symptom of that specific disease. So what I'm trying to say is, basically your whole body feels completely off and there are weird sensations everywhere when under such huge amounts of stress. But it's the body parts you focus on that get all the attention. And by getting so much attention from you, they're often blown up completely out of proportion, which then creates more stress and more bodily sensations. So to sum it up, you can say that everyone has their own set of anxiety symptoms, because 1. Our bodies react different in fight or flight mode. 2. Long-term stress creates whole body discomfort and sensations. And most importantly, number 3, we all shift our main center of attention to different body parts, depending on what we are most afraid of. Guys, I hope that this information will ease your mind a little and makes it easier for you to accept that what you are dealing with is just anxiety. The sooner you get to this conclusion, the faster you will get into recovery mode. And there are plenty of videos on this channel and on YouTube in general that will help you achieve this important state of mind. Thanks for watching everyone, and if you want to see more anxiety related content just like this one, consider subscribing.